Boom. We're live. What's up, everybody? This is GMrDrew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Goloszewski Experience. This is going to be episode, what I put down, 479. We up there. You know, almost 500 episodes of this. Just me drawing pictures. What are we working on today? Today, I do have this joint. Let's just get gnarly. Right? Like, let's do something that's something for this picture. Because I still actually need to draw a whole lot. But I think before I even go any further with that, I need to establish what I've been wanting to establish with it. So, I mean, anybody who's knows I've been working on like the concept art for the story. I have like these pieces that I worked on over here for a series of islands that were, dang, how far back does this go? Damn. Keep going, keep going. Just there we go. God damn, look how much I've drawn since I've drawn what I'm referencing right now. So if you're new, I worked on this map 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. And there's a series of islands over here, and I'm working on characters, environments, props, whatever. My way up the map, but it's like gone up to the right. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna tackle the lower right, and I'm gonna work towards the upper left. So I kind of got half this. All I'm doing right now is working on those islands. It's kind of like what this is, kind of like what that is, and just working on the ideas. And then I drew this, and it was like an iceberg type picture. You know, I drew these two pictures down here, and this would have been, damn, I didn't even date these. I didn't even date them because I was like, fuck those pictures. And I was like, I liked it. I liked that iceberg idea so much that I was like, okay, I'm gonna like focus on a little bit of the culture of those islands for a second. And I started this sketch, but it was like the whole page. And this whole thing was kind of, again, going back to ideas, and my whole thing being like concept design and all that stuff. The idea of this is something like a floating fortress. I actually drew this picture in an old stream or one of my YouTube videos. I actually, while I was explaining the idea, I drew this picture, which looks like a pile of mess, but it started off as a rubber ducky. So I was like, imagine if like you threw a rubber ducky in a tub and then you just let the mold grow over it until like a chia pet, until like the mold actually like began a new life. That's kind of like what this whole floating fortress is, essentially. Alright. So now, thanks to a little bit of this shading, at least kind of bring this Goliath in a bit. But yeah, give me a second. Let me go find this book, pull up my other reference. That way I kind of have them to continue working on this joint. This actually, I wasn't even planning on working on this right now. I was actually planning on working on some of this stuff that I've been hiding from y'all, which is some more character stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll pre-draw them. You know what I mean? That way, once I jump on the stream, I could just go ahead and just start like rendering them out. And what I got, like some more over here, and just haven't gotten around to it yet because life. So give me a second. Boom. Alright, I'm back. So you can see I got the the book I was looking for right there. Got a whole bunch of boats in it. Even the other reference that I didn't get rid of. It's like a cruise ship. I talk about it on an old stream, but basically those are the inspirations for the whole life overgrowth that took place on this floating fortress that's just out there in the ocean with all these other islands and stuff like that. You know, I talk about how in that Assassin's Creed Black Flag, how they, you know, it was all very pirate focused. So obviously the boats and the concept art was all very focused on boats and stuff like that. It's in a past stream, probably when I was working on these pictures. So if you see those pictures I was just showing earlier on a thumbnail on one of my videos, just check that one out. It's probably like that video that I'm talking about them. Oops, who knows how far back. But I got other Assassin's Creed art books, and just because I was working on Thorfinn and Askeladd, I'm like, how much did like Assassin's Creed Valhalla have like boats in it? Especially since the game came out afterwards, they would have had the software, you know, all the programming. So I was looking at the other books, and I was like, okay, Origins, when they had the Egypt stuff, and I was like, the Mediterranean, they still had all the boats. And I was like, okay, so maybe there's something in there. And I don't want to like hold on to it too long, but you know what I'm saying? But I figure it's worth a check. Plus it's like kind of on brand or on theme for the night. And then I also have Odyssey, which is also the Mediterranean, which is also boats. And how crazy is that part of the world, you know? So yeah, I don't like full disclosure, I don't think I'm gonna be like finding anything that I'm gonna be looking for. But I think it's kind of cool. I'm always talking about books, and it's been a minute since I like showed off a book, so I'll just kind of quickly show off a little bit of these. But you know, I'll probably like focus on them in a later time. See, like, you know, like they got boats, but this isn't like what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is like the Black Flag. Like looking at Black Flag's boats. Like here, yeah, I mean it's all dope because of all the kind of Norse all that Celtic stuff, man. I always liked Celtic designs just because it always fed into itself. It all comes full circle. It's all about the whole dragon eating its tail, but then taking that dragon and winding it into shapes like crosses and this is and that's is and all sorts of different crazy shapes. Like I learned all of that stuff about Celtic designs like when I was like studying tattooing back when I was like apprenticing, and that was a long time ago. But yeah, let's see if they got any like boat stuff. No, just whole bunch of dope character art, you know. And see, like they have boats, but nothing that's too definitive. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we got a boat, we got shields on the side, we got a dragon at the helm, we got a deer at the helm. You see what I'm saying? Like they're cool ideas, fun designs, but That's not what I'm looking for. Like, my interest in this book was more with the characters and the environments, not so much the props, because I know that the props would mostly be things that I can find in other books already. But like, look how dope these things are. You know what I mean? Like, they're super cool. And how often do you get to draw just a pouch? You know what I mean? But like getting like little Celtic details like that, and like this in there, like all that stuff is super cool. But then like simplicity stuff that's made off of like jawbones and all that, so cool. So cool playing like playing with those ideas. Voyager, see, like, it's all pretty generic. Ooh, there's even on the Thorfinn one, the reference image that I'm pulling from. Right, I actually don't even know if I saved that picture, but one of the boats had like that white and red stripe. It's like a popular thing for like Vikings and all that. I don't quite know it. I'm ignorant, so. But you know, you see that, like, you can see the boat, but you can't see the boat. That's why like these things don't help me. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to working on that picture that I'm gonna prepare to work on and finally like make some progress on it. It's about, well, it's not about making a boat, but it's about making a boat. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about like a silhouette of a boat or anything like that. It's like, no, there's gonna be like things live on this thing. But see, like, these are kind of cool. Like, you can see like some sort of like feathered designs on the side of the boat. Some that have the weapons sitting on the side. Little more rough. Like that whole lightness, darkness stuff, like that's easy to think about and be like, okay, if it was rough and gruff, it'd be like this, and if it was fine and dandy, it would be like that. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm looking for. This stuff is neat, though. This stuff is so nice. Like, even something like that is super cool. Oh, wait. I don't even know what that is. It's like a hammock or something. But it's made out of like animal bones. Like this is super cool. Like that's some like fisherman town type style. You know what I mean? Like some cultural stuff right there. Like that's dope. Yeah, see? Now these are really neat. See, this is stuff that like concept artists pull to the side, and you know, you hire a specific person to create a specific thing. Like these bird eye views of these towns. Like these are like little things that I kind of concentrate on, and I don't even make the sketches as nice as this because I'm not a map artist. As much as I draw maps, like I'm not a map artist. You know, there's people out there that like know stuff. Like latitude and longitude is like their language. It is, you know what I mean? Stars and alignments and all that other stuff. Like they can like, and then they just get it cracking. Me, I'm just like, draw a building, draw a roof. Figure it out. Someone help me. But yeah, you see. See, not so much on boats. You know, that's why the black flag like comes up. But like this is really neat. Like you know, creating small villages, big villages, you know, the whole forts and safety and all that other stuff, like, you know, protecting your town, how to secure an inlet, you know, things like that. Like all that stuff is very, very neat. That's why I wanted to pull these to the side, because I was like, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, they all deal with the Mediterranean and boats and stuff. So I was like, why am I not seeing so much with boats? But it was because Ubisoft was Ubisoft, whatever. They probably did Black Flag first, So that was the one that they were like, yo, we're going to focus on boats. Because we tried to do boats in, what's that, AC3, maybe, something like that. And they were, you know what I mean? It was like a little left something to be desired. So then they probably had like a programmer, like programmers, who knows, like really focus on like on sea battle. You know, funny enough, even in cinema, filming on water is difficult. You know, like Waterworld, that movie was filmed in water, and Jaws and stuff like that, and there's like all sorts of nightmare stories. So it's not even like you could pull from like things like that to be able to create water battle and boat battle. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing too much of like boat anything, but it's probably because by this point they had already gotten like all their boat stuff figured out, and they were like, yeah, we got boats in this game, they're coming back, but as far as like the concept goes, like they really didn't need it. They needed to focus on the environments and how you can like Assassin's Creed traverse through it. Traverse through, you know, these landscapes and build these environments. See, like there's a boat here, but it's not what I'm looking for. Alright, so yeah, this is essentially what I kind of expected. I wasn't really expecting to see too much. So that's Valhalla. This is Odyssey. Look at that. Didn't Odyssey have like the craziest, biggest map ever? Like, I doubt there's gonna be like boat stuff in here. There's gonna be boats, but there's not gonna be like boat stuff. See, like, you got some boats, you got some ramming going on, a little one time, but yeah, just really cool. That Roman gladiator-esque. Damn. See, like this stuff is cool to me. Like draw a shield. Now draw 20. I remember when I first started doing like tattoo apprenticing, I drew a crest, and they were like, "Yeah, nice crest. Now draw 10 of them." And I was like, "Oh, how am I supposed to draw 10 crests and not draw the same picture over and over and over?" You know what I mean? I was a teenager back then. Nowadays, it's like, oh, okay. I'll just draw 10 frumpy things. See, we got some boat stuff going on in here, but you can see it's all very piecemeal, you know? Not that it's bad. It's stuff is beautiful, but what I mean is like all the boat work had already been done. I wonder how many of the same team, like the same people, like worked on these games. So you had people that like already busted their hump on boats in the past. So all the hard work had already been done. Now it's just like, okay, we got the programming, let's just slap a coat of paint on it. Hey, we got the programming, let's slap another coat of paint on it. Yeah, see, not much boat stuff, but a whole lot of mythological stuff. Like this stuff is cool. Look at that. It's like that. What's that one character's name? Remgall? No. From Warzard's Red Earth. They had that one chick. That one chick that was like, she transformed into one of those things. Look at that. Drawing all the flags. Like, this is like some Game of Thrones shit right here. You know, all the different houses and the thises and the that's. Like, all that stuff goes into creating culture. And you know, these are things that I kind of have to consider, but not so much. You know what I mean? It's like I could only focus on so many things. So my attention has to be direct. And let's just check out Origins, just for the fun of it, just because we're already here. But then I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick, at least with the Black Flag. So this is Origins. I think this is the one that they did right after Black Flag. If anything had it, it would probably be this one, right? When they were doing their second go at boats. But even this, like, I like this one just because, like, Assassin's Creed had something when they were tapping into cultures, you know? Because it was just like, oh, damn, you could do anything and everything. I don't think Ubisoft like took it where I thought it was going back in the days when I was watching my brother play AC 1, 2, and 3. But I think this was the game that they started mainlining things. And, you know, it took a turn, just like everything takes a turn, you know? Disney acquired Star Wars. Now Star Wars is taking a turn, like, for better or for worse. It is what it is. Yeah, see, there's like some boats, but it's not like boat stuff. Yeah, see. Hopefully one day I'll be able to like kind of capture stuff like this anytime that I like work on a big city. So far with the concepts that I've put together, I haven't really come across any big cities like something like this where it's going to cover a lot of environment and a lot of different environments that are all saddled up next to each other and things like that. I haven't had to tackle any of that on stream yet just because I haven't gotten to those points, those environments, like in my world map. Like, my world map is still like on the fringes. Like, even this floating fortress that I'm working on is just it's like a quick staple in the fringe, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of like look at these things get these things cuz like this stuff will interest me, of like, dang, look at that. I would have never thought to put like this striation land of like water that clearly like used to be more elevated once upon a time, but then obviously the water levels shrank or, you know, went down, and, you know, land started to ride, but you could see like all the water paths that happen, and them building this town. Is Venice still sinking? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, see. So it's like all the environments that I'll be working on aren't even all that crazy. But then I probably have like 2 or 3 areas that's just like I have environment stacked on top of environment stacked on top of environment, so much so that I actually need to build the culture of of that land, or just build the yeah, see, no boat stuff really. No real boat stuff. It's because Ubisoft had already tackled the boats with Black Flag. And honestly, I'm like looking at this stuff to get fired up. So like this is the main page that I'm looking at, but you see what I mean? Like I would imagine it would been more or less the same team working on these things. Like, I'm sure some people change and all that. I hope they wouldn't just let go of an entire team of people and then hire a whole new team of people every single time. Like, that'd be nuts. But like, they did all their boat work here. Like, even, and obviously because it's pirates, right? So it's like they have all this like land and typical concept artwork stuff, right? And you know, boats are pretty much everywhere. They're in every shot. but it's like really not much there to it. Hey, look, wasn't I talking about like Florida and St. Augustine earlier? God damn, I be going full circle with mines. But yeah, they like even this. I would say even their focus on boats in these pictures are a little bit better, a little bit greater. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, man. When you create something, you're creating something new. You have all the same, but then you focus on something. You focus on at least one element that's gonna like separate it. And yeah, the one that got my attention, like we're starting to get to it, is like these things are super cool. You know what I mean? Like all these pictures, like look at all these, like all these people. You know what I mean? Like you could feel it. You could feel like the life of like, oh damn, this is like a whole crew. And then you could only imagine being stuck in the water with all these people for who knows how many days or weeks at a time. And y'all just like function. Y'all just function. But, you know, and I've talked about it in the past, so I'm not going to dive deep into it, but like this is the stuff that got my attention. The actual breakdown of a boat, piece by piece. You know what I mean? And then taking those breakdowns and painting over them and, you know, slapping on a coat of paint that, you know, looks more or less like this. Like this is how they get these shots. So yeah, I just love all this stuff. Like I don't even know if these boats like actually exist, but like something like this did exist, like in reality, in our time. Not our time, but like our you know what I mean. Like shit like this like existed for real. Like this is what's nuts. I guess that's what we have museums for. Yeah, I remember my grandpa had like a boat model, and it was like a boat like some of these, but it was like, you know, it was a pretty big size model, but you know, maybe like twice the size of this book in length. And you could see all the pieces. It was all just wood and all the pieces and all the intricacies, and then there was like actual netting put onto it, and it was like a model boat. So like some old shit like this. And but yeah, this is the stuff that I was looking for. So yeah, they tackled these boats, and then they went and made all these other games that had got boats in them. Kind of makes sense, don't it? Get back to these. There we go. So yeah, I look at all that beautiful stuff, and then I start creating all this. I was hoping that by the time I got to this point, I would have stopped doing so much traditional stuff and start working on digital things. That way I can create some stuff that's a little bit more up to par with the industry, so that way it's a little bit more recognizable for y'all. But it hasn't gotten there yet. Kind of what I want, you know what I mean? Like I really want to give this location an identity that isn't even just like, unlike anything you've ever seen before, but definitely unlike anything else that I have created and am going to create with like all the other environments. Working on all these things, like, well, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's like also it'll pay off in the long run once it's like I move on to the next map and work on those environments. Like I said, I do actually have like giant cities and things like that, and looking at those city things Haven't really like studied those like extra hard just yet, but it's in the works. Like I'll end up having to do that when the day comes. And I'll be ready. You know what I mean? Like I'll be ready for that day. Like I wasn't ready to draw this picture at any point. This is like my third time like going back to this one. I wasn't prepared to work on this tonight. So here we are. We're just doing it. So yeah, I'm probably rewatching his Bloodborne playthrough just because Adam Duff was talking about. He like I said, he works on a lot of beautifully grotesque things. Like if you beautified Bloodborne, made it like a little bit sexy. Like that's kind of like the stuff that he does. So it kind of got me in the mood to like, and I was like, oh yeah, I was referencing Bloodborne recently with like working on something. Like while I was writing, working on like trying to get like interesting like set pieces. You know what I mean? Like I was referencing it, so kind of got that playing. Talking about AI art. Here he goes talking about Bloodborne 2. That shit ain't never happened. Oh yeah, another thing that inspired this whole thing was the game Shoots and Ladders. Like, good luck getting an AI to try to figure out all this bullshit that I fucking threw into this piece. AI, I want a old timey boat with sails and chia pets and shoots and shoots and ladders and all. Like it would fucking blow up the robot. The robot would just start dancing and be like psh, 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 until it like short circuited. Go tell you to hire me. Must go hire GMrDrew. Only he's dumb enough to throw all that shit together. Are you a good middle? You're something like a middle. Yeah, but you're you're warm. Hmm. Yeah, see? There he goes again, taking another beat just to admire the environments. I remember when I was studying 3D and I was like learning about it and like man, that stuff was just always so difficult for me. You know what I mean? I had no understanding of it going in. Like creating skyboxes and then building within one. Just none of it ever made sense to me. Like I couldn't process it. Like okay, here I am 15 years later and I'm like, "Oh, okay, like I get it. I can kind of get it now, but yo, like to those beats that he takes to admire these things, that's like I look at those things and I'm breaking it down with my artist eye. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I couldn't do that before. Like before, they were, people, teachers were just saying words to me, and I'm just like, I hope I pass. Like, but yeah, I struggled so much with 3D, and now everything's all augmented reality, virtual reality. Like, I'm just now starting to catch up to 3D stuff. That, like, AR, VR. You know what I'm saying? When I first started watching Max, dude, it was because he was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'd never watched his channel before. And that's exactly what he did. He would stop, pause, and just take in the game, just take in the work. You know what I mean, of the artists behind the scenes. You know, giving credit where credit was due. And that's when I was like, okay, this guy different. This guy different. Like, he ain't speed running this shit. Like, this guy different. He over here, like, giving props. Psh. And then I started streaming. So yeah, like, hopefully I give enough kudos and props to people out there. I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. But I'd like to. I'd like to be able to do it properly. You know what I mean? Help people see things the way I see them. You know what I mean? Actually be able to show you what I'm looking at and how I'm looking at it. The other thing is, so far I've only been focusing on the top, like above the surface, but then there's still like a little bit below the surface here, like the horizon line and all that, to kind of capture a little bit down there. But I don't know how much of that is necessary. Grateful to have these longer streams, honestly. How do icebergs work again? Hold up, let me look at my own real quick. Are we all the way? Oh, we all the way down there. We all the way down now. Oh, that was a bar from Westworld. Dad, I'm all the way down. Oh, so sad. So sad. I can see the bottom. Oh, so sad. Dude, I remember I used to be so intimidated with markers when I first started like dipping into markers, and this is before I went to like artist alleys and things like that, and I was like preparing for my first free comic book day, and all I had were like these like 10 gray markers that I just never used. But I knew like the udon artists that I followed. This is like back in my DeviantArt days. Like they would work with markers, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to work with markers. Yeah. And no, you don't. But I felt like I did. I felt like I had to. Such a breath of fresh air, fresh, breath of fresh air to like get loose, you know. I had like never drawn superheroes at that point. Never drew Spider-Man at that point. Here I am trying to tackle Thor and Captain America and just learning them for the first time because I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to learn how to draw superheroes. That's all people want. There were my dumb markers that I never used before. Many years since those days. Now it's like I can't even imagine working without a marker, you know? It's like I'm gonna get some markers, right? I'm gonna get to use some markers, right? You know, it was like 10 years ago. I never thought I'd have a computer again. You know, just slowly but surely. Oh yeah, so going back to that AI thing real quick. I guess can't remember if I put a cap on it or not. Um, uh, Adam does takeaway, and I'd kind of come to the conclusion before he said it, where I was like, he had two videos on it a week or two later or something like that. So you know, giving it some time to like marinate, and then revisit the conversation. Uh, and it was in that revisit. I watch his. He'll put up artwork, like he works in Photoshop. Or something, and I'm watching along, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, wait. And he's talking, but he hasn't addressed what I'm about to talk about. I'm like, wait, the stuff that he was talking about in the first stream, he's doing it here. Or the first video, he's doing it here, but he's not talking about it. And I'm like looking at it, and what he was talking about was ultimately like you can make like great references with using AI, like, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at it at his thing, and I'm making a comment on his page, and I'm just like, yo, like you're using AI, like not like, oh, how dare you use AI, but like, or like I never thought you would be the one to use it, not like that, but I'm like, you're using it. Like you took AI, I mean, for lack of a better term, you took AI and made it your bitch. Like, you know what I mean? You're using AI like how I'm using this marker. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, so I made a comment, and I was just like, dude, like you're using it. Like you're using it to make like the dopest references. You're using it because it's like how I'm using those Thorfinn and Askeladd screenshot references while I work on my picture. Imagine if I had like an AI thing to be like, yo, give me this, that, and the other. And then I was using those as references to paint my painting, or you know what I mean. that's what he was doing. And I made that comment, and then he eventually addressed it, and I was just like, okay. Because I'm looking at his references, and they were like what he was talking about in the first video, where they were Bloodborne-like. But I was like, no, I know the Bloodborne concept art. None of that is Bloodborne concept art. And I was like, oh shit, that must be the concept art of the stuff, of like what he was talking about in the first video, when he was like, yeah, they gave him some really neat Bloodborne looking things, but it didn't give a finished result. You know what I mean? Like it did, but it didn't. Like, it didn't give a finished result in terms of being a creator and delivering a creation. Like, it created something, and it created a good something, but it may not hit the mark. And it doesn't matter how much you tell it. It's only gonna be as smart as the programmer. And these programmers are super intelligent, don't get me wrong. But their intelligence doesn't tap into creating artwork most of the time, I'm sure. So I was sitting there looking at that, and I was just like, he's using AI like he would use something. Use another artist tool, you know? And I was just like, this guy. You know what I mean? I was like, that guy's in the position that he's in for a reason. 'Cause, like, I'm an idiot, so I'm like, sure, I don't sweat AI art, but also I never would have thought to make it my bitch. That's it. Like, I was just like, that's on the table now. Like, that's just another thing to do now. And now all of a sudden, I think AI has a place. And it's not a place of like fearing it. It's not a place of poo-pooing it. You know what I mean? Oh shit. Hold on. Let's get back up here. Like, AI art just has a place where it's like, damn, I wonder how much it would come in handy for me. For instance, just to say, when I was working on my Cyclops character that I just so happen to have right here, and I have where are the portraits though? Give me a portrait. See, like this portrait. This portrait here, this is probably the third time I made this portrait, maybe even the fourth time I made that portrait of this character. When I originally came up with it, my idea was like, I want this Cyclops character to cross over with Chris Brown. And you could check out my old streams way back when I was like not even screen recording, but literally getting a recording of my screen. I was recording my screen, but not screen recording. You know what I'm saying? And I was working on the laptop, and I was piecing this together in Photoshop, and I had to pull the hat. I had to pull the jacket. This is like Gambit's jacket plus this beret, and then I threw this pin on this beret, and then I got Chris Brown as like the base structure of the this character's head and face, but then I obscured it with the Cyclops aspect, and then like gave him purple skin, shit like that. Like I had to Photoshop all that together, and it takes time, and those are a little bit more simpler concepts to, I guess, maybe bring up to AI and be like, hey AI, give me Chris Brown with a Cyclops eye, wearing Gambit's jacket and a beret, something like that. And then I don't even know how specific you can get, but I'm sure that's not like that crazy specific. But then I'm sure it still wouldn't have come up with this necessarily. Like, it probably could give it 100 tries. But the time that it took for me to piece those together, and like I said, it's on the early stream, so you can go on my YouTube channel and catch those there. I made maybe a dozen of them, 2 dozen of them. So yeah, as time went on, it got good to me, so I got quick. But I wouldn't be able to do that quicker than an AI. You know what I mean? Necessarily. Maybe to find a result, but like the right result. I mean, but Yeah, it's Florida. uh, so yeah, I definitely wouldn't be able to do that way faster than AI. It's like, yeah, I'm even more for it now. You know. All right. I think I got a decent base. Made some decent headway with this sketch that was just a compilation of nasty lines and slowly forming. Once I throw some more details and stuff like that, like I said, it's in like the mid muddy stage, much where the Vinland joint is. So let's see what I could do. Badass. It was a pretty good stream. Ton of watercolors, ton of markers, ton of finally getting back to that floating fortress piece. You know, got a whole lot done. But I'll probably even like start working on some Patreon stuff. Something I could just sit down on the couch and just doodle as I go. You know, just because I'm kind of exhausted standing on my feet and working on this one. It's yeah, I got some good stuff going, some bad stuff going. Well, I shouldn't say bad, but some stuff that's getting lost. I'm getting lost in the mud. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna step away and then look at it again before I start sharpening it up. Because yeah, I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. Outside of that one, man, yeah, I'm and we did a little bit of books too. But either way, I'm GMrDrew. That's at GMrDrew on all socials. Follow, like, subscribe. Any and all support is appreciated. Just watching these things means the world to me. And see someone stop by with Suppler. And yeah, man, GMrDrew.Art. The website's right there. Check that out. Hit me up through there. If you want commissions, a lot like this. This is a $3 tier commission. It's the first Tiger tier. So yeah, you're getting a whole lot of with just that much. So hopefully this kind of inspires you to be like, hey, I want this, but I want that, and you know, I'll be more than happy to do it. Outside of that, yeah, merch stores, code 2023, get 50% off. That's half on me, and then what else? Yeah, that's about it. Outside of that, man, thanks for watching. Love y'all. Peace.